If you have type 2 diabetes and you're tired of being told it's chronic and something you'll just have to manage forever, if your A1C is controlled but your medication list keeps growing or stays the same, and you know deep down you're capable of more than this, you're in the right place. This is the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast. We're Brian Bisher and Cory Jenks, two pharmacists who spent over 2 decades inside healthcare. And we started this show because we got tired of watching capable people stuck getting managed instead of rebuilt. Here's what most people aren't told. Type 2 diabetes isn't just a blood sugar problem, it's a muscle and energy storage problem. When your body loses strength and metabolic flexibility, blood sugar rises, and you can rebuild that. On this show, we break the scripts that say more meds are inevitable, you're destined to just manage, remission isn't possible, and instead we teach you how to build muscle, eat in a way that keeps you full, and regain control of your health again. No extremes, no shame, just practical strategies to help you move toward remission and lead your health again. Let's get to work.
Welcome to another fun episode of the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast. Brian, it's good to see you.
In person.
Yeah, if you can't tell by the difference in audio, Brian is here in Tucson recording this live as we record it.
Yeah.
We have hung out. We have gone for a hike. We saw some javelina. Brian is confused by Tucson's southwestern architecture of homes. He told me it feels like a different country. And you know what? That's what the fun of this country is there's so many geographic locations.
Yeah. And we did a nice hike. That's where we saw the javelina, which
I just said that.
I know, but
I just said we did a hike where we saw javelina.
I didn't know what a javelina was, though. I thought it was like some kind of wild dog, and here we are. It's looking like a pig, but it's actually related to deer.
Yeah.
So, Cory, just take it away.
If you're curious what a javelina is, it starts with a J. It's a H sounding J. So Brian was telling me about his trip out here and struggles with the airport food. And there was some items there that they said that they were healthy, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of this idea of a health halo. And it's kind of a problem because health halo just means that the wording with something might make it sound healthy, but it's not. Like if you ever bought something that because it said, protein, which is as we record this in March of 2026, everything has protein. Literally, the water has protein in it now.
Yeah.
Or low fat, or keto, or vegan, or plant based, or grass fed. Although grass fed's hard to mess up, but
it's finished.
Grass fed. Yeah, all right. Let's not get into that nuance right now. But then you look at the label later and thought, wait a minute, this isn't actually as good as I thought it was. So that is sort of what the health halo effect is. It simply means when marketing makes a food appear healthier than it actually is.
People would actually do that, Cory?
Food companies would. They want to sell you stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah, food companies, but I'll give them credit. They don't lie, Brian. Food companies don't lie, but they might highlight one really nice feature of that food. For example, protein cookie, which I do enjoy a good protein cookie.
Me too.
Low-fat yogurt, which completely ignores maybe massive sugar content, but it's low-fat. Keto snack. Well, the macronutrients, if you're eating ketogenic, might be keto. It might be they're sneaking in a bunch of fiber to make the net carbs be low, or they're just pumping it full of fat. Gluten-free dessert, Brian. Oh man, ice cream is gluten-free.
Like not unless you have cookies in it.
It's a good point. Yeah, like ice cream should be like a vanilla. Okay, vanilla ice cream. Unless we're totally wrong. If you're listening, you're like, actually, ice cream's chock full of gluten. Like regular, well done ice cream should.
All right.
But the problem is one good ingredient does not cancel out the rest of the food. And I think I've seen this a lot in the world of protein. Protein chips, protein. Now, and we have that trick, right? Remember that if something is telling you it's high protein, we have the trick, the 10x rule, multiply the protein grams by 10. If it is more than the calories, you are good to go. And if it's less than the calories, it's less. And I always check myself, Brian. Peanut butter has 8 grams of protein a serving and 200 calories. So 80 is less than 200. So I know we want to have more than that.
Yes. Good job. And honestly, I was in the airport, like Cory said, it was just really hard to find foods that fit that bill, but I eventually did find some. So I can share this with you if you want. You think that would be helpful for people, but I don't know how many.
What did you find?
I found some Vienna edamame, whatever they're called,
like roasted edamame.
Roasted edamame bean.
Yeah.
And those are really,
Edamame is a stealthy good food.
yeah, lots of fiber, lots of protein,
Yeah.
minimal calories.
Yeah.
So that and some beef jerky, which broke my bank, but it's
Yeah.
kind of filled me up.
Yeah. Airport beef jerky means you're living large. Like
Yeah.
when you look at like how much you spend per ounce of beef jerky and realize how much you could buy with that, like you could
Really?
go literally buy a steak for the
Yeah.
amount that you spend
Yeah.
on that jerky. But how much is your health worth, Brian? You know, you're actually really spending on not planning because if you had bought it at the store or made it like I did for you when you showed up here,
Yeah.
it would cost less.
True. I did not plan well enough. I actually thought I would have time because I had a layover in Texas and Houston to find some jerk, like some kind of brisket or some kind of meat. And honestly, there was just nothing nearby. It was pizza. That was it. And then there was like a Potbelly store, which I didn't really want to get that. The line was long. I had a tight connection. So I ended up going to the convenience store and just navigating my way through that. And yeah,
That is so sad that Texas couldn't provide you with brisket, Brian.
I know.
Maybe on your flight home. Maybe you'll do. Are you flying back through Houston?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe maybe your kind of terminal will have brisket. So,
Yeah.
as much as this episode could be about Brian's poor planning, let's talk about a few common health halo foods. So,
All right.
we kind of alluded to this earlier, but protein, air quote, protein desserts. So we talk about protein cookies, protein brownies, even protein bars. I'll give like if you get the right protein bar, I think it is a high protein food. But
Yeah.
as we talk about all the time, is we want to get the most nutrition
For the least amount of energy.
for the least amount of energy. That was a good call and response.
Yeah.
Being in person is really helping this.
It is.
So even if a cookie has 15 grams of protein, if it's got 300 or 400 calories, you're still overeating.
Yeah.
Now, if you just want a dessert and you like it, we're not judging. We're giving information to help you make smarter choices. But as we were saying, the 10x rule for protein is sort of your gold standard for just rough math of figuring out, is this dessert is this a protein dessert or is it just dessert with a little sprinkle of protein in it?
Yeah. And going back to what we've said before is that if you're going to go somewhere where you know there's going to be less ideal dessert, but you want to partake, you don't want to be left out. I have brought protein desserts or just or you could just say, you know what, this one's worth the squeeze. I'm going to actually have the dessert that's there.
Yeah, my sort of rule on desserts is if it's homemade, I'm in. If it's store-bought, I'm out. And like if it's a mom and pop store, sure, I'm in. But if it's mass-produced garbage filled with, I don't know, like
whatever,
a lot of poor oils, corn stuff. Yeah. If it's not something your great grandma would have made, then although like the 1900s, they got Crisco. So, be careful with that. Otherwise, yeah.
We digress. All right, what's the next thing?
Next one is we have low fat foods. So this is sort of a leftovers from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s where every fat was bad. I think the problem with fat is it's called fat. It should just be called energy.
Yeah.
Because fat, and it's like fat, it's going to make me fat. Well, energy will make you fat. Carbs can make you fat. Any energy will make you fat. But so we have low fat yogurts, low fat salad dressings, low fat cookies, low fat everything. The problem is oftentimes you got to get some flavor from somewhere and they chock it full of sugar.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of you, Snackwells. I remember you from the 90s filling up our cabinet drawers at my parents' house. All you Snackwells cookies.
The Chips Ahoy. But they probably weren't even low fat. Honestly.
No, Chips
they were not low fat.
No, it was all aboard for full fat, full sugar. Yeah. Not even that good of cookies. Nah. When you think of Chips Ahoy. They were well marketed. It's a fun name.
They were well marketed. They had the little cute elves.
No, those were Keebler.
Oh, it's Keebler.
The Keebler. Oh. Chips Ahoy were chocolate chip cookies.
Okay, I thought they had the elves. That was Keebler?
Keebler. And Keebler had many varieties of cookies.
Okay, all right.
And they made them in trees, Brian. I can remember this marketing so well.
I don't.
I watch a lot of TV. So just because something says low fat does not mean it is going to be a safe bet.
Okay.
You want to look at, honestly, the energy in foods is fats and carbs. So the least amount of fats and carbs. So if it's full of sugars and carbs, but you like it, great, know what the consequences are. But just because it has the low fat halo around it doesn't mean you're good to go. Quick pause for a second. If you're finding the podcast helpful and you want more practical ideas to help move your blood sugar in the right direction, come follow us on Instagram at Diabetes Remission Partners. We share quick tips, food and exercise insights, and blood sugar mistakes people don't even realize they're making. It's also where we can answer your questions directly in the DMs. So if you want more help between episodes, Instagram at Diabetes Remission Partners is the best place to find us. And when you follow us, make sure to say hi. All right, back to the show.
Yeah, I want to go here. You mentioned salad dressings. I was actually on a call with one of our clients this week and talking about sneaky ways to look at reducing some total energy intake. And this was one of them. Salads become a big problem because you're trying to eat vegetables, Corey. You're trying to eat fiber. You're trying to put some protein on that salad.
Good intentions.
But then what are you going to dress it with? Like, that's the question. Like, because you don't want to eat a dry salad. Or
No.
maybe, no, I don't.
No,
So-
we can't endorse that.
No, we're not going to endorse dry
that
salads.
sounds disgusting.
So you're left between, like, I guess you've mentioned spray bottles for oils. I don't even really use like dressings or oils. Frankly, I put Frank's Red Hot sauce on it because it's just
They sponsor this podcast, Frank's Red Hot, for when you don't want to try salad. Just kidding. They don't sponsor us.
Put that on everything, right? But then I talked about the concept of like, okay, find like a low sugar barbecue sauce or some kind of like flavored sauce. So it does have some sugar in it, right? But the amount of calories and energy per sugar gram is a lot less than calories per fat gram. So or carbs and fat, they're both energy sources, but per gram, fat packs over twice as much energy.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to say we're here in the Southwest with you visiting. A great condiment is salsa. Salsa is a great way to dress up a salad. So one of the things we'll do for like a taco salad is we'll take a fat-free Greek yogurt, which replaces your sour cream, and salsa. Ooh. That's a fun little treat here. You're learning things here.
That's a better tip than mine.
It was. I didn't love your tip, Brian, but you were right in front of me, and I didn't want to insult you directly to your face. Versus Zoom, it's so much easier to insult you. So no, and mustard's also a sneaky good condiment.
Yeah.
So make a little vinaigrette with like a little splash of oil, like a little bit. You can control it. Your favorite vinegar, balsamic, red wine, white wine, a little Dijon mustard, salt, pepper, garlic powder. Mix it up. Boom. And you control the ingredients, you control the amount, and it actually tastes better than anything you'll buy from a store.
Yeah, so a lot less energy. So you honestly, because what can happen is you can quickly turn a very friendly salad that is going to get you towards your goals to something that is like going to probably derail your goals because it's just becomes so much energy.
Yep.
So
all right, moving on. I think we've gone low fat discussion long enough. Ryan has learned something that's usually our key we should change. So next we have smoothies, which I don't know about you, but I got to give Milkshake's PR team a really good shout out because they rebranded milkshakes really well as smoothies. They're essentially like liquid sugar, but they're called smoothies and you put fruit in them. But oftentimes smoothies, especially the bottled ones, the pre-made ones from the store, they got more sugar than a soda a lot of times because you know what they're using as their liquid base? Fruit juice. Yeah. So this is where
it's natural.
Oh, it's good for me then, obviously. Health Halo. Natural is another one of those health Halo words. So instead of a smoothie, this is where if you really want something cold and icy and sweet, a little frozen berries, some water, or I use kefir, or an almond milk, or even a Fairlife skim milk, and some protein powder will get you a better smoothie than anything you buy that's bottled. So you can use the fruit to sweeten it, but just don't use a bunch of fruit juice to make it the liquid base.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say about that, smoothies, unless you have more
My daughter loves them. That's it.
Your daughter loves smoothies?
She's like, smoothie. She sees the blender. She says smoothie, even though she's already eaten like 3 breakfasts at this point. She still wants a smoothie.
Yeah. We make our kids smoothies. We call them smoothies, but we'll take frozen berries. We'll take kefir and whole milk because they're still growing. So there's no added sweetener other than the fruit. And then the kefir gives them some good gut bacteria. And then for some of the kids, like the boys, like the protein powder. So we'll throw that in there. But for the little girl who's under 3, the protein powder is artificially sweetened. I don't want her addicted to the sweetness. And so she likes a kefir, milk,
it's like the
strawberry. Yeah.
No, nice.
I'll throw some frozen mango in there.
Okay.
That's
all
what
right,
so. All right.
Hold on. I'm gonna one more thing about smoothies is they come in bowls too. To be aware of the smoothie bowls.
What? This hasn't made it out west past the Mississippi, apparently.
You guys don't have smoothie bowls out here?
Smoothie bowls? The point of a smoothie is it's mobile and you can drink it through a straw. Why would I want it in
It's
bowl
been
form?
rebranded. Now it's a bowl.
Ugh.
You have a smoothie bowl.
Oh, I think bowl's another one of those things that sounds like a health halo.
Yeah.
This is like 3.5 here. The bowl, acai
So
bowl,
yeah, that's what I'm
rice
talking. That's
bowl.
for,
It's got a
yeah.
yeah.
Well, anyway, so smoothie bowls, they'll top it. They'll even say that it comes with protein. It's like they'll put protein in the bowl, but it's usually a very low amount. And then it's just topped with granola. It's topped with more fruit, even though it's already got fruit blended up in it.
Honey.
Are you gonna get a lot of antioxidants? Sure, but you're gonna get a heck of a lot of sugar.
Oxidants. Why do I raise my oxidants? So I can anti them.
So, all right. That's probably another health halo word, antioxidants.
Yeah. Yes.
Just the list goes on. All right, Cory, you take it away. What's
All right.
the next
Snack bars, granola bars, or granola bites.
snack?
Granola is such a health halo word. Granola is all energy, which is not a bad thing. Like granola is fine if you're out hiking a long trail and you need energy, fine.
Mhm.
But if you're metabolically messed up and you have high sugars, you don't need extra energy. So this is, yeah, you look at granola, it's carbs, it's added sugar, it's delicious. Like I like granola, don't get me wrong. And like energy bars,
Mhm.
which actually is probably one of the most honestly branded products out there. It literally is just energy.
Yeah.
Like, and my dad falls for health. Like he's a sucker for a health halo. Like he's like, look, it has 3 ingredients. It's just a date bar. It's like it's dates and like peanut butter and it's just there's this like it's like 2 bites and 300 calories.
Oh wow.
I'm like not even full from it, and I want 2 more of them because they're so hedonically delicious. And like in 6 bites, I could have 1,000 calories.
Yeah.
It's basically like candy with oats.
Yeah, candy, and then yeah, you're combining the carbs and fats, so you're getting that really yummy carb fat combination that is just impossible not to overeat.
Yeah. So why does the health halo matter for blood sugar? Because when people think of food as healthy, they eat more of it. I think too many times doctors, physicians, providers dismiss patients, people thinking they're not trying. And I think people have really good intentions and they try hard. So, oh, this thing says it's organic, cane sugar, naturally sweetened, blah, whatever it is, I should buy more of it. And then they'll eat it more often. And then you stop paying attention to the label, the portions, all of it. And you accidentally eat way too much. Your sugar's high, and you come to our office and you're like, why am I sugar high? I'm doing everything right. So health halos just don't just change what we eat, they change how much we eat. And when we're in an energy toxic state, that really matters, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it's because you're just deceived. You're thinking you're doing something right, and then that can lead to really just beating yourself up because you've been trying, and then yeah, then you're not getting the results you want. So it's just
And
hard.
it becomes a learned helplessness
Yeah.
where, oh, well, I was doing everything right and I still had high sugar. So what's the point of even trying? Everyone's out there trying to trick me. Well,
Yeah.
I can assure you, we are not out here to trick you. And we want to tell you what actually works. So focus on foods with, I'd say, not without marketing departments, with limited marketing departments. Because eggs, meat, fish, dairy, like yogurt, sugar-free yogurt, there is a dairy council, there is an egg council, there is a beef council. But I got to tell you, there is a wheat council, a soy council, a corn council, a sugar council. All foods have marketing departments, but if you could find foods with like smaller ingredient lists, less labels, eggs, meat, fish, yogurt, vegetables, fruit, nuts. Nuts to a degree. Nuts are also easy to overconsume. But the truth is, like the healthiest foods rarely need a label telling you that they're healthy. It's single ingredient foods that, while they may be yummy, like a steak is yummy, I find chicken breast yummy. But there's a point where it's hard to overeat it.
Yeah.
But granola, chips, anything that changes the texture or mouthfeel of something, it's designed for you to overeat. And when it's telling you how healthy it is, I'm going to double down because I'm doing a good job, right, Brian?
Yeah. And it's designed to overeat, but it's also, they're trying to get you to replace whole food with it.
Right.
You really should just be filling in the gaps. If you like the analogy of like big rocks, pebbles, and all that stuff.
Sand.
Big rocks, sand. Okay. Sand. There's a lot of sand out here in Arizona. Sorry.
That other stuff, sand.
Yeah,
I just
there's
wanted to help you complete the analogy, Brian.
So the big rocks, your whole food. It's the eggs, it's the dairy, it's the meat. That's
vegetables.
The vegetables.
Some fruit.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so then the little pebbles the little rocks can be the health foods when you're on the go. Like if you're traveling, sure, it's better than
a bag of Doritos.
A bag of Doritos.
For example.
Bag of Doritos, for example, yeah. Doritos, my blood sugar is going high. What?
Yeah, we are not sponsored by Doritos. I should
No.
have just said tortilla chips. I did not want to get sued by Frito-Lay. Here we are.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's okay. The point being, like, we're trying to do the best we can. But if you've ever said to yourself, God, I thought that was healthy, you're not alone. And you're navigating a food system designed to sell, not necessarily to nourish your body.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the ultimate answer for your questions is this healthy? Is how do you feel after you eat it? What does your blood sugar do?
Mm-hmm.
If you're eating a lot of a food and your weight is going up and your sugar's high, then it might not be as healthy as you think. So I wish we could wave a magic wand and just get rid of the health halo, like wave the halos away.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this, hopefully they'll find that this knowledge is powerful.
Yeah, it is. And just be aware, because there are companies out there that want to make money off you. They're aware of, if you're health conscious, there's an opportunity there. There's a reason there are so many foods with this health halo effect, because there's a huge market for it. People are trying to be healthier, and it just opens the door for more products and
More confusion.
And so I think you just stay in your lane, find some foods that you can repeat on, you can eat on repeat, and fill in the gaps with fun health halo foods every once in a while.
Yeah, maybe. And we're actually, after we record this episode, we're going to Whole Foods with Brian to stock up before. Yeah, it's his favorite place is Whole Foods. Mine is probably like Costco and Play It Again Sports. And we almost went to a Play It Again Sports here yesterday, but we decided to, my kids have enough baseball gear for baseball season, so we moved on.
Fly back.
Yeah, you can't fly back with a bunch of gear. You only carry it on. So we're gonna go try to find Brian some healthy foods that aren't just health halo foods. Yeah, and he's gonna pack better this time around. Yeah, I made him beef jerky so he can fly home with that. Yeah. But thank you for listening to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap. And this was an extra special episode, having you live in person. Let us know what you think. If you really love these in-person episodes, then we will just abandon our families more often and record together. So otherwise, we'll be back to Cory and Brian on Zoom soon. Yeah.
All right. Well, and if you know someone who has just tried to share some of this food with you, and maybe they would benefit from hearing about what a health halo is, because it's not just a video game. Halo is not just a video game that people play. It's actually, right?
Halo is a video game.
Oh, it is.
It's probably we don't play a lot of video games. No. Halo is not just what above is just what above an angel. Above an angel, it is what companies try to do to make you overeat their junk food. So until next time, maybe we'll do another one of these in person before you go, or we'll make you get on a plane and then fly back together.
Or you can come see me.
Tune in. I don't know. Go to Ohio. No thanks. All right. Till next time.
If this episode gave you clarity or hope, share it with one friend who's been stuck in the diabetes trap. That's how this mission grows. One person, one family, one story at a time. And if you haven't yet, leaving a quick review helps more people find the show and realize they're not stuck with meds forever. It takes less than a minute, and it means the world to us. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being part of this movement toward freedom. Thanks for listening to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap. The ideas discussed here are for general informational purposes only and do not constitute medical or nutritional advice. We are pharmacists, but we're not your personal healthcare providers. Always consult your own physician or qualified clinician before changing medications, exercise routines, or nutrition plans. Results vary, and what works for one person may not work for another.